Hello, good evening, and welcome to another Behind the Beauty. Tonight we will be having another special guest, Deborah Lee, who is a visual creator, singer-songwriter, a self-publisher, an author. She has a long-awaited book called Learning to Define Yourself. And Debbie, she will be on with us in just a few moments. Just saying that thank you all those that are coming on and are listening in on our series of Behind the Beauty, talking to different entrepreneurs from different backgrounds. If anybody out there would like to come on to one of our next series, please do. I really want people from all different backgrounds to come on and to share their story of being their entrepreneur, the highs, the lows, and just to share a little bit about where you've come from and where you're heading to, and just share some tips as well with our listeners also. So I can see that Debbie has joined. I'm just waiting just to add her in. Here she is. There she is. So Deborah Lee, she's just waiting to come in. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Yvonne. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's so lovely to have you on Behind the Beauty tonight. So, Debbie, it's been a while
It
since
has been a while. It has been a while.
yeah. It feels like I don't know, years. I mean, I know we communicate on social media and we kind of send each other things and so forth, but I haven't sort of spoken to you face to face for quite a while, haven't we?
Yeah, we put it like this. We're family. So even though we don't see each other, as the moment we do reconnect, it's always the same.
Oh yeah.
So it's lovely to see you, Yvonne. Lovely to see you. I just want to say, taking this opportunity to say thank you for inviting me on. All the best with your endeavours.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Oh, it's so just lovely to share something. When we was chatting just earlier on today, we kind of said, "Oh my goodness, we've got the same godmother."
That was a shock. That was a shock. Yeah. We've got the same lovely godmother, Sister
Yeah.
Tola.
Yes.
And I was saying to you earlier that she was the lady who was responsible for my name.
Yeah.
So it's just lovely, that connection, just lovely.
Yeah. Hold on, just gonna adjust this a teeny wee bit. So that was absolutely lovely to hear that, and to know that she's still doing well. So Debbie, tell me, because we haven't really spoken to each other for a little while. So what's been going on in your life? Tell me all about it.
Wow. Well, let me start from the beginning. Life has been good. Life has been fairly good. I've had a fairly okay life. But in 2011, as you know, my world was rocked when I lost my daughter. And it's been very, very, very difficult to bounce back. Very, very difficult. But I'd like to think I've kind of found a way in terms of writing, in terms of being creative, in terms of pursuing my dreams.
Yeah.
And just keeping myself busy, trying to keep myself busy and trying to keep myself very positive.
Yeah.
Very positive. Yeah.
Because when we were both growing up at Regent Street, good old Regent Street, Your dad was my driving instructor. He was just such an amazing, I would call him dad. He was
Yeah.
just such an amazing dad. Lots of encouragement. He would always want the very best for the young people that was growing up those days, and always had a word of encouragement, to stay strong, keep going. Is so interested in your education and things you are into. So what was it like for you?
Okay. I when I was growing up, I would definitely call myself mommy's girl. But
Okay.
when was writing the book, I found that I was very much influenced by my dad more than I thought.
Mm,
Um, we had quite a strict upbringing,
yeah.
but there was balance to that as well.
Hmm.
My parents, I believe, did their best for us. There was seven of us,
Mm,
so there was never a dull moment.
hmm.
But my
Hmm.
dad was very instrumental in the home, very, very
Hmm.
instrumental.
Hmm.
I would definitely say when I look at my business related skills now, some of them
Hmm.
I would say come from my father. As you know, my dad was a driving instructor
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
very influential in the community. So I
yeah.
would definitely say some of my skill sets.
I'm going to take this off because I
Um,
can hear you
you
clearly.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of my skill sets are, I would definitely say, growing up in the home, being
Hmm.
around my dad and my mom,
Hmm.
and seeing the way my dad would interact with people in the community,
Hmm.
seeing how he just kind of got on with
Hmm.
all of his pursuits as best as possible. And given the resources that they had, our parents had probably 40 years ago, I have to
Yeah.
say, I sit here quite proud of my parents, both of them,
Yeah.
because with the limited resources that they had,
Mm.
and we probably have a lot less resources and not able to be as productive. So I have to say
Definitely.
I'm very, very proud of my dad and obviously the
Hmm.
influence that he had in the
Hmm.
home. He was very much a role model
Yeah, definitely.
and very much a father.
Mm.
Yeah,
I can say that because he was father to everybody basically. Nobody could say that he wouldn't give a good word. Yes, he was strict, and all of us growing up at Regent Street can say like my dad was strict, your dad was strict, but there was always a warm way about it, where yes, they are strict, but they want the best for us.
yes, yes,
Definitely wanted the best for us.
yes.
Um,
I,
and
I
so,
would say there's very much similarities, Yvonne, between
yeah,
both of our parents.
yeah,
And we're both from big families.
yeah.
Father was very much the head of the house.
Mm-hmm,
Um, However, I feel that I'd have to say, upon reflection,
mm-hmm,
I think that the balance was good and the
yeah,
balance was probably appropriate at that time.
yeah.
As you know, my dad passed away in 1986,
Mm-hmm,
and now I kind of wonder if he was around now, how he
mm-hmm.
would be interacting with myself and my
Mm-hmm.
siblings and the grandchildren,
That's
etc.
children.
And I
Yeah,
think he would have changed with the times, to be fair. I think he would have changed
yeah.
with the times.
I think they do. They tend to sort of not be as strict with the grandparents as they have been with us. They kind of mellow
Grandchildren, yeah.
a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
But thank God for them. Thank God for
yeah,
them. They were the forerunners for us, and sort of brought us up in a strict environment. I think possibly some of us, if we wasn't brought up in a strict environment, we probably would have gone way
I can
overboard.
testify to that. I can testify to that. My dad didn't play with me. He didn't.
Mhm.
He was very much kept me. I mean, little things like just being in church and not talking in church and having etiquette.
Yes.
and being respectful towards people. And there was times when I'd be in church talking or chewing gum or what have you, and then I would just hear from the restroom, Deborah, go and sit against your mother. I'm like, okay. So I definitely look back now and I think there is a lot of, I would say there's a lot of positives to being brought up a certain way. Like we used to have quarterly family meetings.
Wow.
We used to have quarterly family
Really?
meetings. Yeah.
Oh,
And my
no,
dad,
no, no,
yeah,
not at our house.
yeah. My dad would sit at the end of the table, I should say,
Yeah.
rather. And you know, your moms would always get the different food selection for them, the separate bowl of rice, the separate bowl. So my dad
Yeah.
was always king. And then at the end of our meals, he would get his notepad out and he would take us through different standards within the home in terms of making sure the house is clean, making sure we were respectful towards my mom, making sure we were respectful towards each other, making sure we were respectful when we went out. So I felt that, again, upon reflection, I think that it's a really, really good thing to be raised a certain way with a certain standard.
Oh, definitely.
You know? Yeah.
Definitely. You couldn't really call an elderly person by their first name at all. You had to call them brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so, or Mr. or
Yeah.
Mrs. It was
Yeah.
never you could call them by their first
Even
name.
your brother, Regis, we had to call him Brother Regis.
Yeah.
Or Brother Eton, your brother, or Sister Joyce. So there was a big thing growing up within my household about respect. And I think I think that should continue. I think that should continue. Yeah,
definitely. I think today some of the younger ones that are growing up, there is just no, I don't know, you said about etiquette and decorum or anything that showing respect to their elders, even their parents. I'm thinking, whoa, if it was in our days, man, my father would have given me such a smacking.
My mom used to spoil me, so I would get away with a lot, but my dad wasn't having it. Wasn't having it at all. So little things like being at church and how you would conduct yourself with adults or how you conduct yourself with, he was always watching and always making sure that all of us in the family knew our place and knew the standards that we were accountable for. I wrote about that quite a lot in my book.
Well, we're going to talk about your book in a little while, but it's just so nice just to reminisce a bit about the old times, just to get a flavor of, you know, what we've been, how we grew up in at Regent Street. And I even now I reflect and I think I miss it. I so miss, you know, all of those times that we had in choir rehearsals and our big eat when we used to have church dinners and this, that and the other. We used to have quite a good,
that was our holiday, wasn't it? That was our holiday. For my family, we went to Regent Street at the age, well, I remember being 2 or 3. And at the time I was the youngest in the family until my 2 little brothers came along. That's another story. But I remember just coming into church and having a reverence and always being part of street rallies, always being started. Do you remember the street rallies?
Yeah, and the marches.
And the marching.
Sunday school.
Yeah, and the Sunday school. And the BBS.
And Gleaner Band.
And the Gleaner Band. There's so many different, let's say, different networks within the one, you know, within the one church. So I think that was a good springboard for a lot of the things that I think I have gone on to do. just even like speaking, public speaking.
Yes.
You know what? When we used to have prayer meetings, everybody had to stand up and do their 5-minute presentation.
Yeah.
And
Exhortation and
yeah, and
it took it in turns to preach a message.
yeah, it was. And what my dad used to do, I don't know. I have to say, maybe he was trying to train me for this time. I don't know, but from a very early age, probably from 7, 8, I would be called to do something, whether it's to do a presentation, whether it's to do a short exhortation, whether it's to sing. It was crazy. When I think about it now, having that skill set at 7. Yeah, so my dad has definitely played a very important role in my life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think church in itself has been a really good foundation for people that want to do things like speaking roles in their job now, or singing. And you can see lots of people that's come from church, of pop in like Beverly Knight and people like that has come from church, and they always say, this is where my grounding is, because church teaches you so many disciplines. And I just appreciate where I came from, because it has given me lots of groundings for where I am now, as married, having a child and so forth, and also all the things that I'm doing in church, and in my day-to-day life. It has given me confidence to be able to do this, to be quite honest. It's given me confidence to and with the backing of my two men in my life who always pushed me, it has given me confidence to be able to even do this role. And so Miss Deborah, you like to call Deborah. I was just going to call her Debbie, but no, Deborah Lee. So I think when before I left Regent Street, I think this is what you were doing as a job. Was you going into social working or something of that?
I did social work for about, say, 20 years, probably 25. And then I decided that I wanted to develop more as a manager. And I went into management for probably 15, 20 years. I'm showing my age now.
Oh,
yeah. So I've done different types of management, from project management, operational management, general management. I've done different roles which have helped me considerably. Just to work with people, but also to understand systems and processes and policies and procedures, etc. What I'm most passionate about is results. So anything that I do, I'm quite meticulous in the workplace. And everything that I do, I try to make sure it's of a standard. So that's what I've been doing. I miss my creative flow. I've done a little bit of songwriting, a little bit of singing, a little bit of artist management, bit of clothing design, a bit of everything, I would say. I'd definitely say a bit of everything.
So tell me, because your business is called Creators Collections. So when did it start? When did that all start? Because I think going from being social working, management, blah blah, when did you switch, or has it always been there?
So let me clarify. Creators Collection by Deborah is just a registered trading name. It hasn't started as a business as such, but I've set it up as a trading name. I've more or less protected my designs and my trademarks. So that's as far as that goes. What I'm hoping to do is to grow it organically
Okay.
and to make design for the tall and the voluptuous woman.
Yeah.
And I would like to work with other designers. So that's like, I would say, in progress. In
Yeah.
progress. What I've started to do is just showcase my designs,
Mm-hmm.
and just work with different people who perhaps need some styling tips, etc. So that hasn't really taken off the ground as such.
Mm-hmm.
Currently still doing management, doing project management, managing different projects.
Mm-hmm. Is
And
that still in like the social working bit, or have you moved
um,
away from that?
I've moved away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with a law organisation, and now I'm working with a university. So yeah, so I'm just doing variable projects is what I'm going to describe it as. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
variable projects. Yeah.
Excellent. So, I've been looking at some of your designs, and you say you make them for the more voluptuous lady. I think
Yeah.
I'm in that category now.
Uh, yeah, I think we all are, Yvonne. Yeah.
So, where do some of your creative ideas come from?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I'm going to be totally honest and say inside my mind. I'll sit down
Mm-hmm.
and I'll have a conceptual idea of what I think, if it's clothing, for example, what I think a
Yeah,
dress should look like.
yeah.
And I will probably look at some of the designs that are out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you go to a shop to get something for a wedding or somewhere fancy, and you go into the shop and there's nothing that's quite right. It's
Yeah.
always like what everyone else is wearing, or I'd
Mm-hmm.
say very mid,
Range.
quality. Yeah,
Yeah,
very restricted. So
yeah.
I then decided just to start drawing designs, and playing around with colours and different
Mm-hmm.
fabrics.
Yeah. A lot of the
And
fabrics I've seen is very striking, quite bright, and it really does suit your skin tone. It looks
thank you,
absolutely
Yvonne.
gorgeous.
Like, and believe it or not, some of the fabrics or some of the colours I wouldn't really have worn before when I was
Yeah,
younger.
yeah.
I'm just getting a bit adventurous now.
It's
And
true. Yeah.
yeah, my mum would always say
Mhm.
to me, "You wear a lot of black." I think most
Mhm.
people know me that I wear a lot of dark colours, and then my mum would say to me, "Wear some brighter colours." And I really enjoyed just playing around with. Sometimes I
Mm.
do contrasting designs where it's like black and red, or black and a
Mhm.
different colour, or what have you. So I just enjoy that.
Mhm.
But tied to that, I enjoy the creativity of the hair,
Yeah.
um, and how makeup is applied, and
Yeah.
gone into floristry. That just came about by default with me doing flowers for my daughter's gravestone.
Mhm.
So I just like being
Some
creative.
beautiful stuff you put on social media.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, you've both like the clothes and your floristry and all of your, it just seems like the creativity is kind of oozing out of you, and it was wanting to come, it was kind of locked up, and now it's starting to really flow. um
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. My love affair with creativity, I would definitely say, started when I was about 7. As
mm,
you know, I come from a family of 7,
yeah,
and I had 5 brothers, and
mhm,
in between everybody wanting to watch football and watching their PlayStation, I just used to
yeah,
go in my room. My room was my haven.
mhm,
And I would read magazines, and I would cut magazines out, and I'd create portfolios, and I'd look at the latest fashions, I'd look at everything. And then I
mhm,
did textiles when I was at school.
mhm,
And I used to enjoy playing around with different fabrics, and I would sew a little bit. Um, and then I have to be honest and perhaps say, when Chanel passed away, it
mhm,
was my safe haven to return to those different
mhm,
things. Hence why I've been a little bit more proactive, just designing things in the last few years,
mhm,
setting up the label. and rediscovering Deborah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's just ask you a few questions as a mum, and a daughter that's passed away, taken away at such a young age. I wouldn't. I know that, you know, I've not experienced that. So just kind of explain to us, you know, how it's impacted your life, because I know it's changed you forever.
You will never know. Beyond words, Yvonne. Beyond words. On the 1st of October 2011, I went to bed in one world. And on the 2nd of October 2011, I woke up to a totally new world to what I've lived before. From that moment until this moment, I'm living in a completely different world. I'm existing, I'm getting on with things, I'm trying to be positive, trying to be proactive, but it's a totally different world without my baby. She was my everything.
Yeah.
She was my everything, my handbag, princess, heartbeat, everything. Lived for her.
Yeah.
So life has changed considerably. Life has changed considerably. I started to write the book in April 2011. I said to myself, I just want to write a book about life and try and help people. So in April 2011, I showed my daughter the book in September. I wanted to get to the end of the book and then surprise her. But I showed her the first couple of chapters in September 2011.
Yeah.
And immediate reaction was like, Mom, you're writing a book? She was really, really proud of me. And it wasn't to be. But I'm glad I showed her those few chapters.
Definitely.
And then
I sanctioned that this is what you need to continue to do.
Yeah, because she was so chuffed when I showed her. So chuffed. And my writing stopped for many years. And I think in 2015, 16, I just slowly started to rebuild, and then I would stop. I'd get really down, very despondent, and then I would start writing. And then I think it was the end of 2018, I said, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I made myself a promise, Yvonne.
Yeah.
I said on my birthday last year, December the 17th, the book must be published. And on the 16th of December 2019, I had an email from Amazon to confirm that my book had been published. So I was absolutely chuffed. Absolutely chuffed. I surprised my family, took them all out, decided to surprise my mom, gave her a box to open. And in typical mommy fashion, I knew it. She said she felt it. She said she felt it. So yeah. Life has changed. Life has changed. Life has changed. Yeah.
Tell us just a little bit about your book.
Oh, okay. It's a self-help book. It's called Learning to Define Yourself, written from the pages of my life. So it's very personal. Look at my life and look at my journey. And it is about allowing people to understand the process of self-discovery. So there's different elements of self-discovery. There's 9 chapters. And there's different elements from learning how to set standard for yourself, learning how to define yourself in adversity, learning about defining the roles, the many roles. I mean, if I was to say to you, Yvonne, how many roles do you play in your life? What would you say? I'm just putting you on the spot now.
Absolutely loads.
Yeah.
I was a manager. And I still do some of my hair business here. You can simplify. Still do that. I work in housing. I still work for City and Guilds Assessing. So it's lots of different hats. Worship leader.
Which role would you say is your favorite role? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Interesting. I think my loveliest role is seeing my son
As a
develop
mother,
into, yes, as a
as a
mum.
mother, as a mother, and as a
Starting to
mentor.
grow up and develop, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I ask you that because that's chapter 3 or 4 of my book,
Yeah.
and I write about roles. And when I was writing After it became my favorite chapter
Yeah.
because I have the role of being obviously a daughter to my parents, then the role of a sibling, and then the role of an aunt, then the role of a manager, then a role as a mentor. Different roles, I would say, but my favorite role I would say would be being a mother.
Yeah.
That was my favorite role. I still class myself as that, but that was my favorite role out of
Yeah.
all the roles that I've had. Yeah, there's a section about defining roles. There's a section about not letting your circumstances define you, but allowing your choices to make those decisions. We've seen on the news this week
Yeah.
about, I don't want to get too political, but we've seen about Joe Biden, how even
Yeah.
though he's now president-elect, he did suffer some losses in his life. He lost his first wife and he lost his,
Yeah.
I think, 2 children
Children.
or 3
Yeah.
children.
Two.
And yeah, and I think
One had
that is,
cancer, I think. We
yeah,
lost him a couple of years ago.
yeah. And I think that's testament to how someone should define themselves by their choices and not necessarily by their circumstances.
Yeah.
So I use the analogy with myself going through bereavement and going through a lot of adversity. I chose not to be defined by that. I chose to be defined by my choices, the new choices that I've made to redefine myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gary's posed a question. Can you have too many roles?
I think by default, we have numerous roles that we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, in my family, when I was growing up, and I wrote about this, because I was the third youngest sibling, I was the one that was, especially being the youngest girl, I was the one that was expected just to sit down and let everyone do everything for me and not necessarily have a voice.
Yeah.
But that was a hidden role or a discrete role that I had that I can't really say I was ever comfortable with.
Yeah.
But yet it was still a role. So there's official roles and there's unofficial roles. There's roles in terms of, it could be, you could have a role as a mother or a role as the president or a role as a manager. And then you have discrete roles that are given to you by either being in a friendship circle or being in a family setting or even being in a work setting. There's roles that I would say roles, but I would say it might be a title where people say, oh, she's the chatty one, or she's the clever one, or that's a role. That's a role as
Somebody
well. So
always joking.
yeah. So when I was growing up, I was the cheeky one, or I was the clever one, or I was there's so many very discrete roles that we have. That I think perhaps what we need to do is just sit down and spend some time. This is really the essence of my book, and learn about ourselves from childhood, into maturity. Like, just learn about the roles that you've had. In each section of the book, there are questions and there's a journal, so you can explore the many roles that you've had, which one you've least enjoyed, which one you most enjoyed, and which roles would you say have been the most defining roles? Again, for me, I would say it's probably being a mother to my baby. But I would definitely say my role as a manager has been quite a prominent role.
Yeah.
And my role as a daughter has been a very prominent role as well for me, as well. Yeah.
So, would you say that reflecting on yourself, some of those roles are what has been defined and come from God, that has kind of blossomed, and you've kind of highlighted them and say, oh, that's me.
That's a really, really good question. Because what I've learned from writing the book is that we listen to a lot of voices, don't we? We listen to, if say us ladies, if a guy was to come on the scene and you'll pay us a compliment, you'll say, "Oh, you're lovely."
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh my God," and then you might not even relax for a few months, right? Well, some people, but I'm saying
that was me with Gary.
Yeah, there you go. You're thinking, "Oh my God, he said that to me," whereas God tells us who we are. He
Yeah.
tells us that we're the head and we're not the tail.
Yeah.
He tells us that we are from a royal priesthood. He tells us that we're king and queens, but we don't pay attention to that. We pay attention to the physical, what we can see in a tangible form. So I would definitely say it's very, very important to listen to the voice of your creator.
Yes.
Just like you have parents, and your parents will say, "Oh, Yvonne is this way," and your other siblings might. Your parents know you.
Yeah.
Your parents know you. Even if you're doing something, you think, "Oh, they haven't seen it." They know what potentially you would do or what you would say.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
God is our creator, and He knows us. He knows us even before we were born in our mother's womb. He knew our personality. You knew. I feel like I'm going to preach, so I'm going to stop.
No, carry on, my darling. Carry on. So, is that where you got your creators collection from? Because that topic just all coming from you just now is talking about the creator and what he brings inside of you and what he calls you, and his daughter, your princess, your all of these things. Does that topic, creators collection, is something that was divinely ordained?
Yeah, not exactly creators collection. That's more like a fact, but more to do with the theme of being creative. That resides in me for the reasons of we are born for a purpose.
Yeah.
Each of us will have an allotted time, and each of us will have to demonstrate what we've done in our allotted time.
Yes.
So it's about understanding your purpose. For me, I think it's in numerous forms. Creativity seems to be the thread, but I think it's in a number of forms, artistically, musically, content-wise. I love to write. I believe I've been blessed. Definitely. I believe I'm blessed.
Oh, yes.
And definitely. I believe I'm blessed by the creator. I don't think, whilst you could say, "Oh, it's you," it's not me. It's it's the giftings that I've been blessed with. And fortunately, since my daughter has passed, God has just given me the strength just to move to a different transition of living.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, Yvonne, sometimes when you go through bereavement, you don't really want to do anything. You don't want to get up in the morning. You don't want to, you just you're not very motivated. I remember when I first lost my child, I would just count the days. I'd say I haven't seen Chanel for 3 weeks now. It's been 3 weeks and 2 days, or it's been 5 months and 6 days. And I would just count meticulously. This year, it's 9 years. When I convert that into a sum, that's 3,375 days I've not seen Chanel.
Wow. Wow.
And for me, I know people say you have to move on, and yes, all of that is true, but that's a long time. So going back to your question, I believe God has blessed me with many gifts.
Yes.
I believe I'm here for a purpose. I believe that I'm here to help others.
Yeah.
But I feel like your giftings is sometimes left dormant. You'll do everything else apart from focus on your giftings, and He's giving you giftings for a reason to be fruitful with those gifts.
Yes,
So
definitely.
some people restrict their giftings. They'll say, I can only cook, or I cannot. But what about if you can cook and you can sew? What about if you can sew and you can, I don't know, there's different things that you can do.
Yes.
All of those giftings is from the Creator. All of those giftings is from the Creator. So it's about me celebrating my journey with the Creator who has given me these gifts.
Yeah. And one by one, they're coming out. Tell us the song that you've written, because I know you've probably written more than one, many.
I've written probably over 80 songs.
Wow.
I knew that would surprise. Yeah, I've written a lot of songs. And again, I go back to my childhood when my brothers just wanted to watch the football and play the PlayStation. I was like, I can't deal with this, waiting to watch my Wonder Woman. And then I would just retreat to my room, and I would just write. And a bit of a laugh for you, Yvonne. I don't know if you ever remember one of my first songs. I heard the sound, and I liked the sound of it, and I wrote some words to it, and I decided to go to Regent Street and sing it. And I was thinking, why is everybody laughing when I'm singing? Why are they laughing? But basically, it was the theme tune to Fame.
Can you still remember the song?
Oh, I won't even repeat it. But I was thinking, why is my mom looking so stern? Why is everybody just looking at me? And then I didn't realize. So my creativity, as in terms of the beginning, wasn't straightforward. But I've written a lot of songs about life. I've written a lot of songs about life, about love, wedding songs, just songs about my journey as well. Many songs. Some of them have been released. 3 of them have been released, as a matter of fact. Gifted Love and No Way to Say Goodbye. And No Way to Say Goodbye, that was written in 2000 I think it was written in 2003 when I looked at my book. 2003. And when I wrote it, I was like, where did this song come from? I went to the studio and I recorded it, and the producer said, it's a bit of a deep song. Why have you written? And I said, I don't know. I actually thought I wrote the song for my dad. Maybe I was grieving for my dad.
Yeah.
But when Chanel passed away, I realised I wrote the song for Chanel. It sounds weird to say, because that song has never been released.
Did you write that quite years before?
2002 is when I wrote it.
Yeah.
And I recorded it at the studio. And then when Chanel passed away, the song just came back to me. And I got some of the singers that I've worked with just to sing the song. And then we released a charity single. But again, you just wouldn't know how old that song is. And to this day, when I listen to it, it makes me cry, to be fair, to this day. Yeah.
Oh, Debbie, you are touching lives out there. Somebody has just said, you're definitely speaking into my life.
Thank you.
Somebody says, hi, Auntie.
Oh, kiss, kiss. I've got so many nieces and nephews out there, I tell you.
Yeah, that's so deep. You know, God's allowed you to do so many things, and you may not even know why you've done them.
Yeah.
but probably now you're reflecting back and saying, yeah, this is the reason why I wrote that song, or
Yeah.
this is the reason why, I started Creators Collection. So you did it because of the more voluptuous woman. And how is that now? How are you going to be taking all these things forward? I'd just like to say hi to my one of my colleagues, Katie. Hello, Katie.
Hi, Casey. I can see a little picture at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. And Carol, I can see Carol as well.
Hi, Carol.
Yeah. Hi, Carol. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you see these things moving forward?
I'm gonna say it's not gonna be an easy task at all. Some of these ideas are it's going to take a while for it to grow organically.
Yeah.
And I believe sometimes it's very important to take your time when you're doing things.
Yeah.
I would like to have my clothes in the shops one day. I'm going to speak into being.
Yes, definitely. You've
Um,
spoken it today.
yeah, speak it into beings. I would like to work with world designers.
Yeah.
Again, because when I see some of the designs out there, I'm like,
Mm.
I could actually do a bit better.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then
Definitely.
also dressing appropriately as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think the red carpet, I call it the red carpet experience because I try to create a look that will give the elegance of red carpet, but also the class of red carpet as well.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also design my clothes with comfort in mind. There's nothing worse than when you're sitting in a frock and it's just very uncomfortable. So
Mm-hmm.
comfort is
Restrictive, you
very,
can't
very,
eat.
yeah, comfort is very, very, very important. Very
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
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 Definitely. So, what's the next book on your agenda?
What's mine?
The next book.
My mom asked me that the other day, but I think um, there's different facets of my personality, as you've
Mm-hmm.
discovered.
Mm-hmm.
There's the creative
Mm-hmm.
uh, giftings. There's I love to help people.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about helping people, but I'm passionate about helping people in the most appropriate way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, love young people. Love. I just love people. So I just want to help people, whether that be through designing clothes, whether that be through writing songs, whether that is through managing different projects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know is the answer, but I would say that I'm just hoping that I will just continue to be guided by God and be guided by the gifts that He's given me. I'm going slightly off track because I feel that I want to say writing the book allowed me to further understand my purpose.
Yeah.
But you sometimes miss that because we pay attention to, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, or oh, I haven't got the resources. But you've got to take a step of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to take a step of faith in your life to just pursue your dreams and then ask the questions after. Pursue what you're supposed to do and then ask the questions after. As a matter of fact, your gift will make room for you.
For you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, question Gary wants to ask me: what do you do to have fun?
Oh, many things. I like being around very good people,
Mm-hmm.
people that are genuine and funny.
You
I'm a
like
bit
to
of
have a
a,
laugh.
I love to have a laugh, love to have a laugh. I love to be around anything to do with music. If
Mm.
there's concerts going on, obviously with the lockdown, that's not going to happen for now.
Mm.
But I like music, love music. What else do I like doing? I like designing. Like I've done some, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I like to do like creative stuff. This is for
Yeah.
your interview, Yvonne. Yeah, and I'm in the process of designing a website. And I don't know if you can see this, but these are quotes from my book. So we'll
Okay.
be doing canvas quotes, motivational quotes. What else do I enjoy doing? Spending time with my family, spending time with just good people. What else? I want to say everything.
You just like having fun, really, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do. I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. So if somebody was starting a business right now, because we're in lockdown now, what sort of
Now's the time.
encouragement, sort of encouragement would you be giving to them? Some few little nuggets.
Okay, so you have to, what I would say, just go to a local pound shop, get yourself a diary, get yourself a notebook, start brainstorming,
Yes.
start asking yourself what would make you happy or what would make you the happiest version of yourself. Start brainstorming. I speak about this in the book. I've got a copy of the book here. It's like there's sections where there's a journal. I'm just trying to show you the journal. But just start taking notes. I don't know if you can see that. There's a note section. And just start asking yourself questions about yourself, rediscover yourself, look at the kind of life that you've had and the life that you want. Look at your dreams and your aspirations. Start being tough on yourself. Ask yourself those questions. Well, why am I not pursuing the dream? Is it to do with other external factors? Or is it to do with you? Are you procrastinating? Start being a bit tough on yourself. I would say if it's a business that you want to start, you need to get the right business advice. You need to have a business plan. You need to have a business plan. And there's lots of agencies out there that provide lots of advice on business planning, financial forecasting, etc. Because people won't really take you seriously if you don't really have a business plan. And I would say start looking at aspects of marketing. So when everything is literally ready to go, how you market your business, how you market your brand. Or somebody's trying to ring me on my number. So look at how you market yourself. But most importantly, discover you and sorry, the phone is ringing. Discover you and discover what is your purpose. What is your purpose and what are you here to do and what would you like to do? And have like a 2-year plan or a 6-month plan, or a 5-year plan, and start reviewing it and analysing that information more closely as well.
I think
And
that's
be
what
around
one thing I need to
like-minded
do.
people as well. That's the big one. Be around like-minded people that want to actually grow and develop and assist you to be the best version of yourself. I think that's very important.
And I think also somebody that can critique you as well. Somebody that can critique you.
Yeah. So like mentorship. Don't just look at a mentor that is somebody that you know. You need to look at a mentor who has specialist skills in a certain area. Or somebody that has actually done what you want to do, or somebody that has probably even thinks completely outside of the box. I think that's really, really important. Mentoring, guidance, reading, getting to know your area of expertise. Go to college, learn a new qualification.
New skill.
Where there's a gap, where there's a gap in the skill set, learn a new skill or learn to get accredited in whatever you want to do. And I think goal planning is really, really, really important. You know, have some time specific goals or an action plan where you are saying, okay, this is the action, this is what I want to achieve, this is the timescale which I want to complete it by. These are the people that I'm going to consult, or these are the agencies that I'm going to look at. And this is the cut-off date, and start being tough on yourself and make sure that you stick to that plan. Like that is what I would say. That is what I would say.
Gary said, and have somebody that will tell you the truth.
Yes. We have to be around people that want the best for us as well.
Yes.
I'm not saying that, there's people that do have your back, and there's people that do love you, but do they really want the best for you? And if they see your life starting to take shape, do they really want the best for you? You've got to be around, I'm going to say, like-minded people, but also pray for those people as well who might not necessarily see the vision, because maybe sometimes they need guidance as well. I speak about that in my book. I call it dream builders and dream killers, because the dream builders for me has been my parents. I would definitely say my parents. I would definitely say people who have just stood in the gap when I was just totally just ready to give up, and they've stood in the gap, and they've said, Deborah, we're going to make sure that we're supporting you, and we love you, and the rest of it. Those are the people that you need around you.
Definitely.
But equally, I'm not going to say there's not dream killers as such without taking the risk of labeling people. But you have people that you would say, okay, well, this is what I want to do, and it's like, oh, it can't be done. And then you have to, by the time you listen to all those, you don't actually want to do anything with yourself. You actually want to give up. So it's really important to, I'm going to use the expression to say, be very careful of the voices that you listen to. And be very careful that you make sure that the main voice that you listen to is the voice of God.
Amen.
It's really, really, really important. Yeah.
Amen. That's a fantastic note to finish on. Debbie, so where can people get your book? Just tell us some websites and so forth.
Okay, well, my website is in the process of being set up, so I'm hoping to provide some updates on that in the next, I'm going to say, 48, 72 hours. So you'll have access to what I'll be doing. I'll be looking at different fashion, or introducing my fashion. I'll be promoting my motivational quotes. These are all from my book. This one says, the unconditional love between a mother and a child will always be. This one says, choosing to live with purpose is the key. And there's a few others at the back of me, so they're all from my book. I'll be promoting my music, and I'll be promoting just different creative projects that I'll be working on. Yeah, so stay tuned. You can follow me on Instagram, Creative Collection by Deborah.
And you are on Facebook?
Yeah. I'm on Facebook as well. Yeah.
Deborah, thank you so much for coming on Behind the Beauty and giving us just a little snippet of your life and sharing. Thank you so much, and we'd like to see you again. I would love to have you on again, maybe later on, when you tell me about things that what sort of things that you're doing in the future. It'd be lovely to just reflect on that. So thank you very much for coming on. And before Instagram kicks me off, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And thank you so much.
Yvonne, it's been a pleasure. Thank you as well. Thank you. I've really enjoyed talking to you. It's my first Instagram live. I've enjoyed talking to you. So just want to say all the best with what you're doing as well. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Keep in touch.
We will. We will. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you next time. God bless.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.